Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. We're about to start a presentation on a very meaningful topic. The title of our session is Funeral Prayer at Graveyard. This is the first slide, serving as our cover. We'll be exploring the significance of funeral prayers, their rituals, and how they bring comfort and closure. I'll keep it brief, so let's get started and delve into this important subject together. Let's explore the different Islamic schools of thought regarding offering the funeral prayer over a grave. Starting with the Maliki school, they believe that if the deceased has been buried without a prayer over him, then the prayer should be offered over his grave. It's important to note that they emphasize this should only be done once. There's no need for a second prayer. Moving on to the Hanafi perspective, they hold that if the deceased was buried without prayer, then the prayer should be performed over the grave before the body begins to decay. Timing is key here. They advocate for offering the prayer before any signs of decay appear. The Shafi'i school has a slightly different approach. They permit offering the funeral prayer over the grave even before the burial takes place. However, there are conditions. The person praying must have reached puberty and be sane on the day the deceased passed away. These prerequisites ensure the prayer is valid. Finally, the Hanbali school considers the funeral prayer to be unique in that it can be performed with the grave in front of the person praying. They see this as an exception to the usual rules. Overall, these perspectives highlight how different schools approach the matter of funeral prayers over graves. But the common theme is the importance of honoring the deceased through prayer, adapted to various situations and timings. In this slide, I want to highlight an important aspect of Islamic funeral practices, which is the permissibility of offering funeral prayers even after burial. The story narrated by Abu Huraira illustrates this well. It tells of a black man or woman who used to sweep the mosque and sadly passed away. The Prophet _FDFA inquired about her or him, and upon learning of the death, he expressed his desire to see the grave and offered the funeral prayer there. This story emphasizes that it is permissible to pray for a deceased person at any time after their burial, even if a prayer was already performed before the burial. The key point here is that funeral prayers are not limited to a specific time or place. If we learn of a deceased's passing later on, we can still pray for them, showing our ongoing compassion and respect. Connecting this to the overall theme, it reminds us of the importance of continuous supplication and care for the deceased, regardless of when we find out about their passing. It also highlights the flexibility within Islamic teachings to ensure that we honor our loved ones and community members properly, even after their burial.